Hey guys, KROOT here, and in this video I want to share with you the products that I am most excited about coming out of Computex this year. Now, while I wasn't able to attend in person due to some last minute issues, I want to give a shout out to all the great media outlets who were busting their tails this week to get content, and trust me, it might look fun, you don't see everything behind the scenes, and it is a grind. So shout out to all those fantastic content creators who went above and beyond to get us this content and to show us what's coming out of Computex, and I will tag them down below so you can sub to their channels and check out their videos that I use as references, as well as the articles that I use as well. So please like and sub and support their content. They're all fantastic content creators, and we wouldn't have what we have without them. Let's get to the fun part, and let me share with you the things that most interested me from Computex 2024. So guys, I know you're going to make fun of me, but honestly, the two most exciting things for me that came out of Computex was a power supply and an air cooler. So let's start with what was the least surprising, for me at least. I feel like I saw this a mile away, but the most exciting thing for me, the Deepcool Assassin 4 VC. I've been waiting for months for Deepcool to make something like this, and I've been bugging them. Whenever they ask what product would you like, I tell them I wanted this. This. That is what I wanted. So I take all the credit for this release. As you guys know, Deepcool is a sponsor of their channel, and I love their coolers. But I've never upgraded my main PC off a Noctua DH15 because I was waiting for this. The Deepcool Assassin 4 Vapor Chamber version. If I botched the name, I am very sorry. But let me tell you about what I really like about this thing. First of all, as you can see right here, it has a display. And anybody who knows me knows that I love displays on every PC part I can. I love to see everything. And what I really like about this display is that you can see the temperature, you can see the utilization, as well as the watts, and I think you can see the CPU frequency, but I'm not 100% on that one, and I will definitely catch up with Deepcool after they recover from Computex to get more of a scoop on this. This is not the last time you've seen coverage of this from me by a long shot. Now, they also claim that the vapor chamber will help a lot more on Intel coolers than AMD, and that makes sense, as with Intel pushing the TDP of their flagship consumer CPUs, it's getting to the point where most air coolers basically cannot cool them. So this will, I hope the vapor chamber will help. According to Steve at Gamers Nexus, he was told that there is between a 280 to 300 watt claim that there's like a 3-degree difference from the old Assassin's cooler, which according to him, any kind of difference could be any kind of temperature difference could be all the difference in terms of performance. So guys, I am beyond excited for this thing, and I know it will be overkill on my 7800X 3D, but I plan on upgrading to AM5 to either the 9950 or maybe the next gen Intel, and I don't want to go water cooling, so this will definitely be my cooler of choice. And over here again, credit to Gamers Nexus for this video that I'm using their stills from, but it does show the frequency as well as the utilization and the watts, which is a big deal for me to have all that information, especially with how many watts the CPU is pulling itself. That's just one of those things that is good to know. And you can see a picture of the vapor chamber close up right here. Deepcool also has refreshes of the AK400 and the AK620. From a crypto mining perspective, you know how much I love these coolers, and now that in addition to the utilization, they will literally show the CPU frequency. That is a big deal in terms of overclocking and undervolting the CPU. So it is great to be able to see those things as well. So I'm very excited for these. And I also think for budget builds, they just give you that extra little pizzazz, and I think they're worth it. But you know, Deepcool did not announce a price. And here is the updated AK400. Again, it has usage, the temperature, and the power. And it's very nice to see the power, especially on these. These will be great for CPU mining to be able to help you get accurate power readings, as that's one thing that's very difficult to do on CPU miners as well. This would work great for budget builds. I plan on picking up at least one of all three of these, and I am very excited to get my hands on these when they do release. So again, shout out to Gamers Nexus for this video. I'll have a link down below providing me with the stills, and shout out to Deepcool. This is my product of Computex 2024, the Deep Cool Assassin 4 Vapor Chamber. I am the most excited about this, and I just got started right off with the best. So this is my favorite product of the show. Now, shout out to Paul's Hardware for this next video where he interviews Asus with all of their new products. And the product that most excited me after the Deep Cool updated air coolers is a refresh of the Thor, or the ROG Thor 1600 watt Titanium 3. In my stream on Monday, I briefly talked about the Thor, and someone asked me what these two pink these two pink plugs right here were. And long story short, the GPU will directly connect to the PSU via this auxiliary pin, along with the standard 12 volt power cable that will allow a direct connection between the GPU and the PSU for more precise measurements. And what Asus told Paul in this video, again, link down below for this video, and thanks again to Paul for getting this interview, is that you will get like a 2 to 3% performance uplift, and it could also help you overclock. And that is impressive, especially when you consider, like, if I could get an extra 2 to 3% on the 4090 or the 5090 playing 4K native resolution, that is pretty impressive. And as you can see here, it has plenty of PCIe slots, it has a 12 volt high power cable, and it's 1600 watts. So you could put more, you could pretty much put whatever you wanted on this thing. But again, the thing that really excites me is the potential in extra performance gain. 2 to 3% is nothing to sneeze at. And as you guys know, I am a sucker for displays. I currently own the 1200 watt ROG Thor, and I love the fact that I can always see how much power my PC is taking. The only thing that sometimes I don't like is the fact that I'm kind of stuck with one orientation. Well, the new ROG, you can apparently remove the LCD screen and you can put it in different orientations on the PSU, as you can see him doing right there. And basically, you are not just stuck with one orientation. So again, the ROG Thor is probably my favorite power supply, and this refresh looks pretty incredible. I've never heard in my life before a potential performance uplift from a power supply. So that's super impressive. So that's the runner-up for my favorite thing at Computex. And now I want to keep going. If you guys followed me all year, you'll know that at CES, when I was at the Asus booth, they had some BTF technology. You know, basically what BTF is all of the power plugs and everything that you need to connect parts to your to the power supply are basically out of sight. So like on the GPU, for example, they would be hidden where obviously you can't see them in this picture, and like on the motherboards, they'd be on the other side of the motherboard. Well, Asus is doing a few cases where basically they're doing mini Eatx cases, which if you've been watching Computex coverage all week, you'll know that seems to be one of the big themes of the show. You know, distant second or third to AI, but a lot of companies are really going hard at the Eatx form factor, which is great. And the thing I really like about this is it actually uses the GPU as part of your case. So the GPU is getting its air intake from outside of the case, which is actually really nice. And I don't know if you've ever worked on an open test bench, you'll notice that GPUs are obviously cooler on an open test bench because they're not getting hot air from the case. So that's a nice touch, and it saves a lot of space. My only concern would be if these cases are designed for any other AIB models, or even something that's not a Strix model. One thing you'll learn about me is I really dislike the Strix tax. I don't like paying for the high-end GPUs, whether they're like the Strix or like for EVGA, rest in peace, the For the Win 3 model, or you know, for Gigabyte, the Aorus line. So I don't like paying for any of that. So I just like to get the Founders or the base edition model because at the end of the day, they're all basically the same. If these cases can support other GPUs, you know, especially the cheaper Asus ones like the TUF or the Prime, that would be really exciting. If they can support GPUs that do not have BTF, that would also be interesting as well. So I will be following these closely in the future, and it's just something else from Asus that I'm really excited for. And again, shout out to Paul's Hardware for this video. I will link it down below. All right, speaking of cases, I do want to give a shout out to Kit Guru for this video. This is his video on Be Quiet's booth in Computex. I'll put a link down below. And again, please give him a follow. The Be Quiet Light Base 600. It can be horizontal or vertical. But the thing I really like about this case is if you look at it on its horizontal layout, It's basically like a GPU test bench is what it reminds me of, but like a really nice one. And, I know people like to swap parts out of their PCs a lot. And obviously, if you do, using a test bench or a test bench style case is the best way to go. But not everybody likes the bare bones look of a test bench. So this case right here is awesome. I might actually get it for one of my test benches. I mean, it looks great. And I think it would look wonderful in a media center, which is actually what something Kit Guru brings up. Like if you wanted to put this in a media center to run your PC off your big brand new 65, 75 or 85 inch TV or even more. TCL has like a 100-incher now. You could do that, and this won't take up a lot of room. So I really, really like this case. And you can see a close-up with the GPU inside. So for cases, it kind of takes a lot for me to stay interested in them. I'm at the point where like the regular generic cases don't really interest me. Like first we saw that Asus case where the GPU was part of the case. I thought that was really cool. This one, I love horizontal cases, and I'm glad to see Be Quiet kind of pushing them more. And I think it's unique and it's different. That was like my favorite thing from Be Quiet and the thing that really stood out to me with them. And speaking of different cases and ginormous cases, I want to give a shout out to Tech Yes City for this video from his Corsair segment. Please give him a like and subscribe. He's a fantastic channel. This Corsair 9000D is an oversized eATX, which means it can hold 2 different computers case. It is insane. I don't know if you guys can see right here, but at the bottom, right above where my head is, that is a mini ITX PC along with a regular PC up top. And if you can see, it's got enough room for 2 radiators. So basically, you could build anything out of this. I don't know if you're like me, where I use multiple PCs in the same room. And I currently have a Fantax P600X in my gaming PC, which is ginormous. The fact that I could potentially put an editing PC and a gaming PC in the same case and have different use cases for both and plugged in different monitors for both and even run them off the same power supply if you want is incredible. There's so many different things you can do with this case. I mean, you could theoretically have 2 gaming PCs and game at the same time with it too. I mean, talk about saving space for a LAN party. Now, obviously, this case is absolutely ginormous, and $500 isn't cheap. And according to Tech Yes City, it does not come with any fans either, which I personally don't care about, as I probably wouldn't be putting too many fans in this thing anyway. It's super interesting to me. It's been a long time since I've seen a case that you could literally put 2 PCs in. And now I totally understand that this PC is not for everyone, but I don't know, guys. I think that this would be something that I would seriously consider putting my gaming PC and my workstation PC into. Now, anybody following the channel on a regular basis will know that I really, really don't like AIOs. I like air coolers. I'm an air cooler guy first. And the simple reason is that air coolers cannot fail. I mean, sure, a fan blade can break or a fan can even fail, but that's it. The cooler itself isn't going to fail. It won't leak or spill water on your PC. Now, I totally understand that current AIOs have a very, very small chance of failing, but they can fail, and there are a lot more points of failure in an average AIO over an air cooler. Thank you to Bitwit for this video and for going over very slowly how this cooler works so I could explain it to you guys. Please watch this video and give him a follow down below. This Noctua prototype Thermosyphen cooler turned my head, and honestly, it's probably the most excited I've ever been for a non-air cooler. So essentially how this works, and again, thank you to Bitwit for spelling this out, and also thank you at Steven Gamers Nexus for going over it as I watched his video on this as well. Essentially what happens is, as you can see, what's going to happen is we're going to start with that goes to the CPU block. The CPU block is going to heat it up and turn it into gas, a process called vaporization. And then what's going to happen is the vapor is going to be gravity fed to the top of the cooler, the condenser they call it, and then it's going to get cooled down to the point where it becomes a liquid again, and it's going to get cooler due to the fans, obviously, and then it's going to fall right back down thanks to our good old friend gravity and head right into the CPU. It took me a second to grasp it, but honestly, it's pretty ingenious, and kudos to Noctua for trying this out. Now, as far as Bitwit and Steven Gamers Nexus have both confirmed from Noctua, this is still in the prototype stage, and they don't expect this out till maybe sometime next year. I'm going to tell you what, if this is at CES, I'm going to do a lot of content on it because this is exciting, and this takes away a lot of the failure points of a vapor chamber, and it could potentially be a viable alternative for people like me who just don't like AIOs. And I bet you the lifespan of this is a lot longer than the average AIO. And you know, if a company like Noctua is doing it, they're going to do it right. So thanks again to Bitwit for this video. Please give him a like and subscribe down below. So look, I get that AI is not for everybody, and a lot of people aren't into AI. If you read this PC Gamer article that I have on the screen, I'll put a link down below, it basically described the Gigabit press event where all they really did was talk about AI top, and a lot of the media that was there looking for just home PC components and gamer components were not happy with the event. And I understand why. But I will say that the crypto miner in me and some of the miners in this that frequent this channel will be very interested in the potential of the AI top. Now, I want to give credit to Martin's tips for these videos, and I'm just going to play part of his video right here so you can just look at it. It's pretty neat alternative to building an AI workstation on your own for mining. It has that like Apple-esque feel to it, as in, you know, all the parts build well together and it's easy to build, and they're kind of designed to use off of each other, and they have the AI workflow software. And it seems like I said, they're designed for the semi-professional or borderline home AI user. And that's not something that we've seen in the AI space till now. Usually it's all just big buzzwords, and, you know, in terms of GPUs, it's just GPUs that are, you know, that cost like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 that just go straight to data centers that us home, you know, potential home AI users will never even touch. So it's kind of exciting to see Gigabyte kind of even somewhat focus on that space. Some things that interest me on this is I'd like to know how the AI top software works. Based on the picture here and how the case looks, I would like to know how well they cool the 3 to 4 GPUs you're using in them. I'm very interested that we basically will have all the high-end 40 series and condensed blower cards, and I would like to see how they perform in the case, as well as seeing how these blower cards could just be used by gamers in ITX builds. You know, being able to shove a 4080 Super or like a 4080 or even a 4070 Ti Super in such a small compact case would be pretty incredible to see what kind of performance you could get, and I'd be interested to see how they cool. I also want to see what the plug-in and play nature of these cases looks like. Like, are they really as easy to build in or easier to build in than trying to put one of these together yourself? I know, for example, and thanks again to Tom's Hardware for this article, I will link down below. You know, some of these motherboards, which are basically Threadripper motherboards, have 3 to 4 PCIe slots, so it's really just simple to kind of just plug these in and play. It's just going to make it a lot easier to build than your normal, like, say, Vast AI or any other kind of AI workstation, especially if you're not familiar with it. Now, obviously, it comes down to the price, and these prices, you know, they're definitely not cheap, but if you consider what you're putting into them and how much you're spending on these, like, when you buy an AI machine, it's an investment. You're buying it to make money on it, either for whether it's a job or you're going to try to mine on it. So, I mean, like, this price could be justified basically depending on the specs and basically how profitable you think it could be. You know, I'm sure there's definitely more configurations than this, and I'm definitely interested to see more about it. If possible, it would definitely be something I would be interested in trying to partner up with Gigabyte to basically explore how these work in the home mining space. Crypto mining sometimes changes more into, like, say, equipment rentals. This is where something like the AI top could be really well utilized by miners. Now, I know gamers aren't interested in this, but still seeing, you know, some of these 40 series cards in blower style configurations is very interesting as well. So I'm very, very excited for AI top for totally different reasons than some of the other products I've highlighted. So a little bit more on the GPU front, and the final thing that really interested me from CES that I want to share with you guys comes via the way of Scattervault. His channel is fantastic. I actually hung out with him a little bit at CES. He's a great guy, and you really, really need to give his channel a follow. He's highlighting the colorful 4060 Ti Mini. We've seen mini versions of 40 series GPUs, basically just the 4060. I had the Gigabyte one in my hand, and it was basically the size of like a remote. It was very small, but it was a 4060. So it's kind of nice seeing a 4060 Ti as big as it is right there, which is basically a single fan model. Now, I have a video which I will share down below showing that if you get it for the right price and also in the right use case as presented here, the 4060 Ti is a very capable gaming rig, especially when you consider how small of a PC you can put it in now. I mean, just look at how small that PC is. You could just judge it. I mean, you could put that 4060 Ti in, I don't even know, like probably like the PC, like a PC smaller than a shoebox, which is pretty impressive. And it was something that was very interesting to me. Now, I know Colorful is not a North American company, so I'm not 100% sure if we're going to see this over here, but that is one of the advantages of Computex, where you get vendors that you would not normally see, like Palette, Colorful, iGainWard, etc. It was there wasn't a lot of GPUs at Computex. It was frankly pretty disappointing, but thanks to Scattervault sharing this is one of this along with say like the AI tops were really the only interesting things that came out of Computex, considering GPUs. I didn't think we'd get RDNA 4. I was hoping. I just thought we'd get a little bit more in terms of refreshes than just what we have here. So that's it for my Computex coverage. Now, while I wasn't able to make the trip, which I'm still very bummed about, I do plan on going next year. I want to shout out to all the great content creators who did wonderful Computex content, because frankly, without them, this video wouldn't have been possible, and basically we would have never have gotten to see all of this great content, all of these great products that are going to be coming our way. So again, a big shout out to everybody that I used in this video, and I will have links down below and references to all of their videos. Please go ahead and watch them. Again, without them, this video would have never been possible. And they are putting serious work in to give us a wonderful Computex. There is so many products that we saw at Computex, and the ones that I shared are the ones that I'm really excited for, and hopefully we'll see some more content regarding them in my channel. Hopefully some of them will end up in my PC builds, for being quite honest with you. So thank you guys again for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content on anything related to GPUs, in tech, and mining. KROOT Man, out.